Hello, my name is Hannah Cheng from Sacred Hakanosian School Private Section. I have submitted to this competition the ending of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I am going to tell you about this story in storytelling mode. It was over in a second. Aslan's neck bore the mark of the sharp stone knife. Aslan was dead. The witch's army shouted themselves hoarse of victory and went away. Susan and Lucy got up from the bush and ran towards Aslan's side. Aslan choked out one last breath and lay still. All seemed to be mourning Aslan. Flowers wilted, and bushes and trees shedded their leaves. There was no bird song. All of a sudden, the mighty lion's form shimmered. A white mist settled over Susan and Lucy. Lucy desperately called for her sister. "Oh, sister, where have you gone? I am sightless in this suffocating mist." Susan, following Lucy's voice, soon found her. A moment later, the mist cleared. Lying dead in front of Lucy and Susan was no Aslan. In fact, he was Edmund. "Oh, brother, what have you done?" cried Susan. Her tears dripped onto the ground, reminding Lucy of firecrackers. "Fire, fire, firecrackers!" Lucy exclaimed. From her pocket Lucy took out the essence of the sweet fire flower and poured it all into Edmund's mouth. With a sharp intake of air, Edmund awoke. His eyes blinked open and widened to find his sisters hugging each other in relief. When they travelled back to Aslan, Edmund told his siblings and Aslan the entire story. It was just after Aslan made the promise. "I heard the entire conversation and knew that he was going to sacrifice himself for me. I felt strangely superior and terrible too. I walked away. For a few seconds I felt such a strong surge of anger I could not keep walking. After that, it felt like a pill clamped itself around my nose and mouth, making me dizzy and breathless. Then I felt as if I could race and win anyone, wrestle and pin down anything, and fight and kill any creature. I looked into a pool and knew I had turned into Aslan. Susan, Lucy, you know what came after that?" Aslan spoke. "The witch must have accidentally lent you her magic with the Turkish delight." "Excellent! I give you permission to ride me into battle and wield my sword and shield." The children backed away from his mighty fangs. At the battle, Aslan gave a roar that caused an earthquake. Edmund charged out, perched on Aslan's back. Peter and Edmund fought in the thick of the battle, working together as pure destruction, hacking and slashing through enemy lines. Susan occasionally sniped unsuspecting enemies with her arrows, and Lucy wounded every enemy creature that wandered out to patch up. For a few moments Aslan and Edmund approached the White Witch. Susan and Lucy heard close slashing, a roar, a yell of defiance and silence. A cheer rose up on Aslan's side. Victory! Everyone yelled and screamed and growled with gusto, knowing they had at last defeated the cruel White Witch, and everyone was safe at last. Susan sat up in bed. Curled beside her was Lucy, Peter, and Edmund. All four were covered with melting snowflakes and dust and debris. Peter looked particularly disheveled. Susan leapt off the bed and remembered the dream. Could it have been? No, there was no way. Unless... Susan crept around the mansion and into the spare room. She opened the wardrobe. Susan scented fresh flowers and grass. She heard murmurs of laughter, growls of enjoyment, and sighs of freedom. Maybe Narnia wasn't a dream after all.